Howdy, boys and girls. Time for a new exciting update. Hold on, while we crooked. Can you shift a little bit on that sofa? Now it's better. So, I posted on my Facebook saying that I got a load Monday. So, loading Thursday. And today is Tuesday, right? Tuesday, October 2nd. And loading Thursday because it's picking up John Deere at an auction near Toronto over here, and the guy just paid to the auction, right? They cannot release the machine unless they receive full payment, and so they said give it a couple of days, and I'm not in a rush, so I have to finish some of my stuff because October 2nd, that means that the September just ended, and that's that frightening IFTA time, and so I need to do my profits and expenses for September and send in my sales tax return, so I'm paid back by the government for the sales tax I used, and I just did it before lunch. I'm gonna get a cool $2,000, which will help with fuel on this next load. And then the plan for the day was to do the actual IFTA, or at least get started. So I have these books over here, right? So one is my odometer, and so I have to go through each of them and calculate how many kilometers I ran or miles in each jurisdiction. And then over here I got another monster Bible book, which is my fuel by state and date. But I never got to these books because when I finished the permits, I felt so good that I actually accomplished something by 10 o'clock. I already had everything submitted, filed online, books done, which also was easy to do because I did not work in September, right? I only had 2 trips, which was actually carried over from August, the one from Laredo, Texas, right? And then I had a second trip from Philadelphia, PA, back to Ontario, and that's it. And so there was hardly any expenses, in my envelope. And so I finished pretty quick, and then I decided to send a message. I know these guys, they never reply. Like, you can call them, it's always voicemail, Nobody picks up the phone, ever. Ministry of Transportation of Ontario, you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? But they do. I mean, why do you have a phone number? Why do you, if you only operate by fax and email, why you bother paying to Bell or whoever you're paying for the phone service? You can just save a bunch of money. Just install I don't know, some kind of a paging system. Just everything goes to voicemail automatically. So so I think that's, and I want 10% of the savings for the year, paid 10 years in advance to this operator. Thank you. My invoice will be attached at the end of this message. But so I was about to go get lunch and get started on the dreaded IFTA when I made a mistake of contacting the the Ministry of Transportation of Ontario, which is the equivalent of DOT in the US, right? These is the asking them. Hold on. We have 18 messages in this conversation, right? And my email is combined as a conversation, right? So it's like easy to see. So 10:10 a.m. Sergei DRATCHEV writes, "Morning. Is my enhanced annual permit ready for pickup?" Because on the application they give you like 3 options: send by courier, send by regular mail, or pickup. So I can drive to St. Catharines, Ontario, which is 25 miles, and pick it up. But instead I chose to send them which, you know, kind of like more professional, I don't know. So I paid $29 Canadian, roughly 2,000 US. No, hold on, maybe 22 Canadian. So you have to divide by 1.28. So instead I use UPS, second day delivery, guaranteed morning delivery, and I send them everything, my application and my credit card form, because they don't accept it by email. You have to fill out a special credit card form with your signature, and then they will charge your credit card, you know. And so I said, yeah, I'm sending you the application basically by mail, but I want to pick up the actual annual permit when it's ready, because you need the original. You have to carry the original in your truck. If it's a copy, it's not valid. And what I'm applying for this time is this enhanced permit, not just the regular one, which is 400 Canadian. Enhanced one is 700 Canadian, but it allows you to haul up to 71,000 kgs, or roughly 156? I think it's more, but anyway, so 71,000 kgs times 2.2. So 10:10 a.m. Sergei to MTO. Morning. Is my enhanced annual permit ready for pickup? I'm leaving on a long trip to Idaho the day after tomorrow. Would be great to pick it up before then. ? Please let me know. Company legal name, my address, and I said I've attached my CVR certificate, which is like MC number for Ontario, so that, you know, it's easy for them to find me. OO Permits Review Team. That's what they're called. Overweight permits. So, but on the email it says OO, so double O Permits Review Team. Writes back at 10:27. So 17 minutes later. Hi there. I'm reading verbatim. Hi there. When was the application submitted to our office? Sergei. 10:30 a.m. First week of September. OO Permits Review Team. 10:36 a.m. Was it faxed in? If so, please advise which date. How the heck do I remember? 11:15 a.m. Took me a while to find it. Again, I'm reading verbatim. I knew you would lose the application if it was faxed, so instead I paid $29 for next business day express delivery by UPS. The letter was dropped off at the UPS store in Cambridge on September 12, 2018 at 2:12 p.m. This was Friday. You should have received it Monday morning, September 15th, before noon. I paid extra for early morning delivery. UPS is trying to find out who signed for package on 9/15th, 2018. Please advise the status of the application. Thank you. OO Permits, 11:26 a.m. Presumptuous of you to say that we'd lose the fax. We get hundreds of faxes daily that are definitely not lost. If you are concerned, keep the fax confirmation sheet that prints out after sending and save the $29 next time. September 12th was a Wednesday, not a Friday, and most definitely not the first week as previously stated. Please clarify date sent, and I will see if it is in the queue. We are currently working on application received between September 7th and 11th. Sergei DRATCHEV, 11:41 a.m. The package with the application was definitely mailed via Express UPS on September 12th. I have the original receipt. If it was Wednesday, then you should have received it either on 13th or 14th. I will have the tracking information shortly. Thank you. Sergei DRATCHEV, 11:51 a.m. Just confirmed with the UPS, my enhanced annual permit application was delivered to your office at 10:28 a.m. on September 13th, 2018. It was signed by a Gary at the reception. Thank you. Sergei DRATCHEV, 12 p.m. Attached is the proof of delivery. We'll check back at the end of the week. Thank you. And I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like, because I was able to print it out. So it looked like this. Proof of delivery, time, and it says received by Gary, left at reception, right? All permits. Can you 12:10 p.m. Can you confirm the so we are writing back and forth for 2 hours. Can you confirm the address it was sent to? We don't have a reception, and there is no one in the mailroom named Gary. I'm not joking, I'm just reading what they're writing. So I take a picture. Take a picture of the receipt. Hold on. Where did I put it? Oh, it's in my jacket. Hold on. It's already very cold here in Ontario, so I'm back to wearing my my warm jacket. But it has so many pockets. Sometimes it's frustrating. Okay, here we go. So that I thought I faxed it before, but then I found this on the back seat of my car. And this is a receipt from UPS. And this is the address over here, where it was sent. So I snapped a shot. I took a picture and I emailed it to her. Okay, why did we move over here? So we ended up, proof of delivery, can you confirm the address? Okay. And so, 12:14 p.m., Sergei DRATCHEV. Please see a photo of the delivery address. 301 St. Paul Street, 3rd floor. That's what they want us to write. They want specific floor. And I attached the picture. 12:45 p.m. Sergei to MTO. Just talked to UPS. They checked their records, and the same person, Gary, signed for 3 more packages delivered on the same day, September 13th, to the 3rd floor at your location. They are sending me a copy of the signature. We'll send it over when I have it. Thanks. All permits, 1:06 p.m. Thanks, but that probably won't help. The 3rd floor is a secure floor. There is no access without an access card, even for the couriers. I looked through the queue from September 12th to 22nd and was unable to locate it. If you send me the application here, without the credit card form, I guess she means by email, I can put it in the queue based on the submission date of the 13th. Sergei DRATCHEV. 1:36 p.m. Could you please look at the attached PDF and tell me if you recognize the signature? This person signed for a total of 4 packages on the same date, all sent via UPS to the MTO address in St. Catharines. Thank you. Right, and I show her this because first they send you this, proof of delivery, but then if you call them, they can actually send you this. And there's a signature here, so exactly like how the person scribbles on the screen. And when I faxed them this, I said, who is this person? And so I got this as PDF on my computer, so I emailed it again, and I have no idea who this person is I'm talking to, because all emails are just signed by OO Permits MTO. There's no name. No, it says OO Team. All permits, 12:14 p.m. That signature is not familiar to me, but I wouldn't say that I know everyone's signature. Okay. Sergei, 2:28 p.m. Shall I fill out the app again and send it over? All permits, 2:42 p.m. Please see my email from 1:06 p.m. And that was the email where she says, we don't know who it is, and just if you send it here, I will put it in the queue as if it was received on September 13th. Sergey, 2:56 p.m. See attached. This is what I sent by UPS on September 12th, 2018, and you received on September 13th, 2018. Will fax as well. Please date as received on September 13th. Please confirm receipt. Will pay with a credit card. And what I attached is I found the exact copy on my computer. I thought I lost it, but I remember that I printed it out, like the application. I filled it out on the computer, and then I printed it out on my printer. And so the original copy was somewhere stored on my computer, and I searched under annual permit, could not find it, because turns out I called it new _ on _ permit. But I found it, and I just emailed it to the lady, right? But and so there's a copy here, sent by email, signed and everything. And I think that was the last message. Yeah, and I said I'll fax it as well. Oh yeah, and then I went to inside Staples and paid what, like $2 to print it out, because I didn't want to mess with my printer in the truck. And got the free cover sheet, and I put the remark, urgent. The original application for an annual enhanced permit was delivered to your office at 10:28 a.m. on 9/13/18. I emailed _ copy number 2 over this afternoon. This is attempt number 3. Please process ASAP. Thank you. That's it, you know. And I attached all this, you know, proof of delivery. Who is this person? And the actual application. And the application was one cool thing about Ontario is that they're very trucker friendly in terms of weight, right? So this is the popular configurations available in Ontario, right? And mine is number 2, which is a 4-axle truck, 4-axle trailer. As you can see, none of the trailers have a stinger, because Ontario doesn't care. So the maximum, the regular truck with a pusher axle and 3-axle trailer, you get 66,000 kgs. My truck with the extra axle on the trailer, you get 71,000 kgs. And this is enhanced, right? And then if you want more, that number 5, that's a 3-axle trailer, 3-axle truck, like regular truck, but you have a tandem Jeep. So you have 8 axles, just like me now, but you have a Jeep. And this gives you 74,000 kg. So basically 3 metric tons more, or what is it, like 200 pounds, right? And the maximum weight of 78,000 you can get with the same 4-axle trailer like mine now. No stinger, just all axles in a row. And 2-axle Jeep and the same 3-axle trailer. So basically you have 9 axles. So 9 axles, 78,000 kgs, you know. So that's a difference of 7,000, which is pretty significant. 7 metric tons, right? So so let me double check. So 71,000 times 2.2, so 156. So that's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm trying to get. So if I get this enhanced permit approved, or at least one of these 3 copies is approved, and a thought occurred to me that they can just charge me this $700 3 times. No, but I'm safe. They lose everything. They lost the original application, they'll probably lose the fax, so the only thing that will remain is the email, because email is the most secure. I don't know, in my experience, especially if you see it's working, right, they're sending me messages, so I know if I reply, there's a 100% chance they will get it, right? With the fax, I don't know, it can be a transmission error, but of course I have a confirmation. But anyway, so So 156,000 pounds minus 53. So basically that's what I'm shooting for in terms of payload. So with my setup in Ontario right now, well, with this new enhanced permit, I can get 103,000 pounds, which of course is the absolute maximum. And then they say that no axle is to exceed 10,000 kilograms or 22,000 pounds. And weight on 4 axles cannot exceed 35 metric tons, which is 77. You see, so they don't give you 80,000 on quad. They give you 77. So wait a second. So 77. If then I put, let's say, 60 on the pusher and drives and 20 on the front, yeah, that's 157. See, that's what they allow. But 78, the maximum one with 9 axles. So 78 metric tons times 2.2. That's 171,000 pounds, right? So I'm just curious, if my trailer is 26,000 with a flip, so it's 23,000 without the flip, 26 with the flip. So if we deduct from that maximum gross, so 26 is the trailer, right? So we have 145 minus Jeep, I'm guessing, tandem Jeep, I think like 7.5, and minus the truck. So my truck right now, let's say the same heavy truck, so my truck right now is 27,000 pounds, but the pusher axle is about 2,500. So 138 minus, let's say, 3,000. See? So with that setup, with the truck, regular truck, and tandem Jeep and 4-axle trailer, in Ontario, you can haul 135,000 pounds, which of course divided by 2 is 67. And you know what that means? That means that if you want to maximize your payload, you actually need like a 70-ton trailer, right? Because you cannot put 135, whatever did I say there? Yeah, 135. So you cannot put 135 on a 60-ton trailer. So you see? So that's what I'm dealing with here in Ontario, and that's the major reason. Like, I do want to mess with these Jeeps, you know, and I wanted to have this pusher with me all the time, because you never know what kind of load you run into, right? And they're not perfect, but I think it's kind of like a good compromise, right? But of course, you see, you're losing 7 metric tons here in Ontario, and definitely more in US. But that's what it is. Oh, and I see a message. Let's see, maybe it's from permits again. Netflix, coming Wednesday, October 10th. Premiere July 22nd. Oh, the movie is called July 22nd. What? Yeah, the movie is called July 22nd. Premieres October 10th. That's confusing. They should have did the premiere on July 22nd. That would be easy. The movie July 22nd premieres on July 22nd. Anyway, so that was my run-in with the Canadian bureaucracy, and I asked them in black and white, please confirm receipt. Right? When I send them by email, they ignored my email, because I know they don't like it when they deal. So probably have a supervisor is now, what the heck, what are you doing emailing back and forth for 4 hours? Get to actual work, you know. But I got proof of that. I got proof here. It was faxed, right? I got a confirmation. 8 pages sent, right? I got the date, I got the time, and this cost me another 15 bucks. But, you know, that's what happens. So I paid 29 Canadian. Okay, 29 and 15, what is that? 44. So that's roughly 35 US. So next time, And whenever you guys, if you live somewhere close to a DOT office, don't do this. You know, don't, because you can never beat a bureaucrat in a paper war, you know. So next time, next year, and if they approve me now, it's going to renew at the same, roughly same time, right? Like next October. I'm going to drive over there. It's 25 miles. And that would be like a pleasure to drive in my Mustang, you know, because they accept walk-ins, what they call a walk-in. No, just some kind of a Facebook notification. You know, you go there, you probably can even grab a copy of the application there, just fill it out, fill out the credit card form, done. You know, why do I need to do all this stuff? I thought I was smart using UPS. And why are you giving us the address on all the information? There's the address, 305 St. Paul Street, 3rd floor. And then in the email she says, "Oh, it's a secure floor. Nobody can get in unless you have a pass." So how do you pick up mail? You know, how do you get your mail? We don't have a guy named Gary, we don't have reception, and there's no Gary in the mailroom. So basically that's why Canada is a very safe country, you know. Nobody can get in. Like, forget spies, forget contraband, you know. If a regular citizen like me cannot get legal paperwork inside the government, anyway, on the positive note, the sad news, no more videos about photography. I'm sorry guys, I know you love them. I did this Chicago trip, I did this New York City trip, crazy views, like computers are heating up, YouTube sending me complaints, why so many views, you know, come on, slow down. So we're gonna slow down on photography and video. I'm sorry, but I gotta do this. The next video will be Thursday, but the auction does not allow me to film loading, as you know, and they already know me. Even though I changed the truck, they still see that sign, like on the back of my truck is it says you know, see this truck in action, right? And they're like, oh wait a second, heavy haul TV. Except now I changed, I'm using a Canadian address, right? So, but that's the quick, easy way to find me. It's like if you forget where to find my channel, it's like heavyhaultv.ca, Canadian, right? And that one is hooked directly to my YouTube channel. And so that's that. And this is a John Deere 350. 350 goes to Idaho. It's about 2,300 miles. So I'm gonna go through Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, what's there? Iowa, you know, Nebraska, Wyoming, that way. Idaho. So like the very mountains, bad mountains, but I hope the weather now is not too. I don't like going there in winter, but you know, now it still should be okay. I know in Alberta there's already snows, but here it's still not too bad, you know. But you can see the sky, it's pretty bad, you know, like very fast moving low clouds. And it was raining yesterday, like very gloomy, and it's about plus 10 Celsius or 50 F. Okay, so I know people from Florida are watching this and they're crying because over there probably it's like 150 F. So no, we in Canada, we're cool, we're only at 50 F. And so yeah, so I did this, I did my profits and expenses. So yeah, now it's already 4 o'clock. That's it. I'm not gonna start on this stuff, on this EFT. I'll do it tomorrow. And tomorrow also I want to do, it's been a while since I checked my tires. You know, I 28-30 tires. So I'm gonna go to Cal Tire here in Cambridge and let them work their magic and check all my tires. And sometimes they find some, like once they were doing this and they say, hey, one of your tires is flat, you know, like it looks fine on the outside, but you know, sometimes they go empty, right? So it's always a good thing, like if they can find a leak somewhere there, like through the, you know, through the valve. I love these guys, and they only charge me a couple of bucks, you know, like I don't know, 20 bucks, you know, 30 bucks. More in winter when it's cold and it takes them a long time. But now it's fine. But now, you know, the temperature is going down, so it's always a good idea to check the pressure of your tires. And that's it. So what else happening? So yeah, we're checking tires, we're getting ready to get loaded, and my annual permit for Ontario is still valid, so this thing is only about 78,000 pounds, this excavator. And I made sure the agent, the broker, is aware this, it needs to be washed, right? And I said your customer has to find a way to wash it, because I don't want to go through a truck wash with it. Like, it's almost like 11 feet 11 inches wide, you know, so pretty wide. I said I don't want to go through a truck stop with this. And it's a good thing that I'm going west, because the Peace Bridge between Fort Erie, Canada and Buffalo is going to be closed to all oversized loads starting October 15th until May 15th. And I called the bridge. I got the direct number of the supervisor of the bridge, because you have to call them when you show up there with the oversized permit, so they can come over and look at your paperwork. And they confirmed, yeah, we're closing. I said, all kind of like all oversized loads, or like after a certain limit? And they said, no, everything, all oversized load, only legal, you know, width and legal weight can go through that bridge. And so I was talking to a guy who has some loads in Philadelphia for the middle of the month. And he's like scratching his head, because those loads go to Toronto, and now without this Peace Bridge, which he won't be able to cross, right? He has to go either through, you know, Quebec, or go through Detroit, Windsor crossing, or Sarnia, and any of these, they will add lots of miles to the trip, you know. Okay, and the last news I wanted to mention is that I was talking on and off with the sign shop, with that Fleet Image guy, and they're so busy, so we like communicate, and he sends me a picture of my truck. Like, he took a picture of my truck when I went there, like without the trailer, and so now he can apply like his ideas to, so he sends me like the result. This is how the truck will look, right? And oh, maybe I can show you. And so he sends me, I asked him for squares. I said, just, you know, like a old taxi style, like with the yellow cubes or squares. So can you do something like that, you know, like maybe yellow red, yellow red, yellow red, you know, like at the bottom of something, just to make the truck stand out a little bit. So this guy comes out, like, he listens to me, and then he comes out, he sends me 4 designs, and there's nothing about squares or cubes, and there's just lines, you know, lines. And I crossed them on my Mac. I was able to find a way to, you know, edit that PDF, right? So I just crossed them with a red line. I left 2, and then one of them looked good, and then I had this idea. If you remember, on Facebook we were doing this, some guys were contributing ideas when the truck was still in production, right? And one guy, I said, I was actually, no, I said, yeah, I had this idea about using a picture of chains and binders, right, and the logo. And one guy actually created a cool logo based like my name, you know, like SERGEI DRATCHEV heavy haul, and then S was like a hook from a chain, you know. It was pretty cool. But back then I did, you know, I wanted something cheap. I didn't have a lot of money left after all these payments, And so now I remember that, hey, I wanted something with a chain, right? And so I asked this guy, I said, can you do something with, instead of lines, can you do chains? Oh, I actually see his original one over here. Hold on, let me just load. Yeah, so that's what he sent. If you can see, so there's like 4 trucks, right? Like one was red, yellow, you know. It's a bit small, I'm sorry, but. And so I didn't like the right part. I said, I like 2 out of 4. So I sent him this. And I said, can you just add maybe something there? Oh yeah, you see over here on the bottom left, like yellow lines, right? And so he did that, and we've been emailing each other again for a long time. Hi Sergey, I've attached a new idea. Okay, where is it? Oh yeah, so he did this. Some kind of like arrows. And I sent him a message. I said, I like the one on the left, but those arrows look like the wheat plant. Can you turn them into a chain? You know, like a transport 1/2 inch chain I used to secure a load. Make it one color. And so he sent me this. So basically he sends me this kind of like chain on the hood at the bottom and at the top. And I said, that's great, but I think it'll look better in red. The guy's probably like cursing me over there. But I said, okay, but you know, I'm looking and I'm trying to evaluate my feelings, like how does it make me feel? And then he sends me this. Kind of like, I don't know, dark red or something, or I think it'll be cool, you know, like this. So it'll be a red chain, you know. And I like this one. Okay, hold on. How do we go back? And I said, approved. Looks good. And I said, by the way, I'm living with you know, with a big excavator for Idaho, so I'll be gone 2 weeks. I didn't ask him anything, but I thought maybe it'll give him an idea that, because these guys are very busy, but you know, it doesn't take actually that long to make these and attach them. So I don't know, if I pick up this load on Thursday, I probably won't leave right away because I got a scale. I don't trust my gauges, and I gotta order the permit. That can take like half a day, the Michigan permit. Oh, one more cool news is that I know I said I'm keeping the trailer, right? Because it was impossible to sell, nobody's interested, but I do see these loads that like I saw another one, aircraft tow tractor. I didn't even bother calling. Then there was another load. Well, you know, you notice this, the restrictive nature of this drop side rail trailer, especially when the load pickings are few and far between. You know, like you're ready to go and there's like one load posted, you grab at that opportunity and you look and it's not gonna work, you know. Like one guy posted a load and it was like 12.6 tall, and I see the address, like, no, destination, it says Niagara on the Lake, Ontario. And I'm like, wait a second, that sounds familiar. And I said, what is this? And the guy, when I called the guy, I said, of course, half of the time they have no clue what they're shipping, you know, what they're trying to find a truck for, which always amuses me. But they just don't care. Oh, it says here machinery, agricultural. I said, wait a second. So is this like a grape harvester? Oh, I'm not sure. I cannot tell you. I said, I know what it is. Exactly, it's a grape harvester. I said, I know that guy, that dealer. They buy this, I think it's like from Belgium, like very expensive stuff. And the way that thing works, you know, like the grape bush, right? And so this thing has an opening in the middle, and basically it rides over this bush. You know, let's say if this is the grape, right? And so this machine goes like this, and it, you know, harvests the grapes. And so it has over here, like the tracks are like this, and then it has like a thing that goes up and down with all these knives. And so when you transport this thing, the best way to make the height low is you put down that knife thing all the way down on the floor, you know. And the problem is, this machine, when I hauled it out of Baltimore, I think it was the last when was it? August or September last year. I had to put that center, like it worked, but I had to put that center of the machine on my center of the trailer, which is of course 8 inches taller than the side, so it's like 23 inches. And because this machine was 12.6, you know, so I was like over 14 feet tall, you know. Whereas if you have a flat deck trailer, you put this down and you're kind of like laughing on the way to the bank, you know. So it's just another small reason to get a flat deck trailer. And so anyway, so I posted the trailer again online in Canada here. One guy calls me, he says he watches my videos, he knows exactly what it is. I said, you realize, you know what kind of trailer it is? You know, drop side rail trailer. Yeah, I'm doing local stuff. I need a trailer like this for rock trucks. And then I found out that his tailboard only has 24 in the well, so he cannot do it. So he just needs basically a longer deck, but drop side rail would help. And he found a buyer. A guy came over to see his trailer, but he said he wanted him to take payments, monthly payments instead of a lump sum, so he cannot do it. And so he emailed me or texted me, and he says the deal fell through. He says the guy wants payments, I cannot do that. But then 2 days ago my phone rings, and the guy with a thick French accent says, hello? I'm kidding, the accent was very slight, but I look at the ID, caller ID, and it says Montreal. I'm like, okay. I thought it was like a freight broker, you know, like sometimes they call you, hey, do you have a RGN in this area? Because I post my truck all the time, right? By the way, now I'm posted for October 12th. I'm posted in Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, and Houston, no, not Houston, Texas, the other one, what's that town, like all the way west? Far Texas? No, west of Laredo, like the part of Texas which is closer to Pocatello, where I'm going. So anyway, I posted myself all over the place except California because I cannot go there with this trailer. And I thought it was a broker, but no, this guy called and he says his father is a trucker, and so he's just acting as a translator because his father doesn't speak very good English. And so this guy asks me questions, and he says he can see the price. And I said, you know, we start talking. I said, I cannot sell it to you for what I owe, right? Because I need money for the down payment on the new trailer. And he says, my father saw in the picture that you have a flip axle and you have a neck extension. I said, yeah. But I said, you realize the price in the ad does not include that, because I said that flip neck is 5 grand Canadian, 3,200 US. So that axle is 2,200 Canadian, or 15-16 US, brand new, right? So I cannot just throw it in for a couple of bucks. And the guy says, okay, can you tell me how much will it be if we buy everything together? And so I just added, I looked at what I owe, I added a couple of $1,000 there, I looked at the neck extension, I looked at the trailer, and I said, this is the price. And then so this morning, what I'm talking about is, this morning the guy calls back and he says, yeah, my dad wants to see your trailer. We already found financing. You know, that's a serious buyer, when you know that they already shopped for financing. And I said, sir, like the last obstacle, right? The guy knows it's a drop side rail trailer. The guy's okay with the price. I said, sir, one last thing that can throw this deal off the tracks. This was a brand new trailer, and this is Ontario, so I gotta deal with a financial company, so there's a sales tax involved. So you will get it back from the government because it's the business expense, but you have to pay 13% sales tax on top of the price I quoted you, right? And I said that, and I made a pause, and I'm thinking, that's it. The guy will say, what? 13%? I thought it was a used trailer. And the guy says, oh, it's okay. We're gonna get it back. We'll just pay it, and we'll get it back from the government in a month or so. I said, okay. And so we started talking already about the details, when he can see it, you know. So they want to come. I said, I'm loading Thursday. So I said, come to the auction. I'll be there for a few hours, and you can walk around, you know, take pictures, you know, do your translation thing, because I don't speak French evidently, right? And so the dad will come over to look at the trailer, and I think it's in pretty good shape. And so now I've been talking to this my old Fontaine dealer, see what he can find, and like he says he can get me into this 55L plus like that, you know. He says he has them, he has people that have them in stock. So, but yeah, that means that I will have to buy the flip axle again, but otherwise this guy would not buy the trailer, right? The guy wants everything. So I'm gonna lose some money, but I'm really anxious to get into this kind of like, you know, much better suited for me setup. I don't know, maybe I'll just ask him to get a spreader bar as well, since, you know, when you buy it all together, it's cheaper. Like, you sign it and you forget it, you know. So we'll see. But for now, I still have the trailer, I'm still loading. I have the load confirmation, right? So I'm loading Thursday, and I told this guy, I said, you know, well, you're thinking I gotta make some money, right? So that's that. So that's the video. So I have the load, everything is good. Oh, and I confirmed with my factoring company, of course, before I took the load. I confirmed the MC number, and these guys were approved for $5,000. And when I called them, I said, I got bad news. And they said, what is that? I said, I booked another load. that pays a lot of money. And they, oh shoot, because they were still dealing with the stress caused by the load from Texas, right? So they had to ask the supervisor if they can factor that. And so she put me on hold, went, talked to the supervisor, comes back, she says, okay, we know these guys, they're good. Alright, cool. So as soon as I deliver, I'll be paid within, probably, if I deliver before 10 a.m. Eastern time, they will pay me on the same day. If I deliver after 10 a.m., they will pay me on the next day, right? So this is cool. So stay tuned for the next video. So next video will be about the excavator. We'll probably do some driving, POV driving. I'll show you the securement, the chains, all that good stuff. So stay tuned, don't touch the remote. Thanks for watching.